So I'm back. I'm back, man. Not very long was I gone, huh? Because, as you know, all I've done today is play video games. The last couple of times I was on, I've played video games. I haven't, not counting my workout streams, which are, oh, look at that. I got a camera right in my face. What am I going to do with that? Let's see if I can move that a little bit. All right. I have a much longer cord than that. Hold on. I am snagged. What's that? Better I say. Okay. Yeah, this was just a sample guy. I need to work on him. I have a lot of guys I need to work on. I am so far behind in my painting. I have D&D figs that need to get painted. I have Frosthaven figs that need to get painted. So I have a lot of stuff. And I have a lot of things that are just not done, that I've started. Haven't been doing as much Frosthaven lately, but that's not because I don't have an interest in it anymore. It's more like I just have so many things I want to do. I've been doing so many things. So the last adventure I did with Frosthaven had me playing. It was what do you call it? Adrian and Royce got their butt kicked, as usual. They get their butt kicked a lot. It's kind of the going thing. I'll tell you, man, I am struggling with these things. I cannot win consistently on that game. It's always something. It's like you can't guess right. It's like one time you go and you have to move fast through it. Another time you go and there's like, ooh, nothing up front. And there's like a bunch of big guys. There's always just big guys who just want to pound on you. And then they have shields. They make every one of these things crazy hard. And I don't know. I'm probably the only one who thinks so. I know. There's probably lots of people out there who think the game's probably not hard enough. I mean, I need to crank this up to level 9. Everybody needs to be harder. And I'm just flying through this. It's like, whatever, dude. There's plenty of people out there who just seem to think who somehow they never lose. I don't know if they're just really good at rolls. They're really lucky. Me, not so much. Here's a guy that should probably do. Ice Dancer. And then I'm fighting with the Ice Speakers. The Ice Speakers on this game are just that they're the big galoots. And I'm fighting with them now. So who knows? Maybe I'm trying to decide what I want to do with this girl. So the Ice Dancer is the one I unlocked. I'm pretty sure at some point I'm going to unlock the Ice Speakers because they're a figure as well, and they're characters you can be in the game. Now I don't know how many characters I can be. I'm gonna have to at some point. I'm gonna have to make a what do you call it? A decision on who's going to be my next, because Adrian and Royce are both level 4, almost level 5, so they're almost halfway. And even when I take other characters, they still keep getting their points, because I usually have Adrian and or Royce in every campaign or every adventure. That's kind of my goal until one of them retires, and then maybe just one of them will go all the time, and I'll just keep bringing some new guy up. Shaking up a couple of these paints here. I'm going to paint the Ice Dancer's pants. Why? Because why not? So, I don't know. And I'm going to do something weird. I'm always trying to be creative, or try to be. I don't even think I need to do that. All right, whatever. There's a basilisk green. What is basilisk green, you say? Well, I don't know. We're about to find out, though. So far, I can't tell what it is. It looks like black to me. It's definitely green on the mat here, but the it is an ink of sorts. It's what do you call them? One of those. It's scale 75's version of contrast paints. What do they call them? Instant something or other. They're one of those that you're not it does all the work for you kind of nonsense. Or you don't have to. But I don't usually use them just like that. I don't really believe that contrast paints. I've tried them by themselves. They're okay. I don't necessarily consider them to be truly a one-stop shop. They can be if you're good with that sort of thing, but I'm not. I'm not talking about good like quality-wise. I'm talking about like I just don't agree. I like to do more than just slop on one paint and say, oh yeah, it's good enough. It's like right now you can't even tell that I'm really putting on a green color. Maybe a little bit you can, but oops, I'm not even on the screen. Look at my. Maybe if I turned on this. Oh, that is on. Right now I'm just putting coats all around him. Can't really tell what I'm doing. That's one thing about black primer. Is if you're using a dark color, if it doesn't like immediately start standing out, you just kind of look like you're just going over the dark color with dark color. And since these inks, as is the case with almost all inks, they're translucent, which means they let the color underneath shine through, which means if it's dark underneath, which is good when you're doing the, what they call it, slap chop, or what do they call it, zenithal priming, where you're basically giving it the shades and highlights out the gate. The big question is, am I actually getting any color here? So I keep painting over, it's like, is it turning green? Do those pencils look green yet? It's like, look at that black, is really potent. It's like the lighter areas are getting a little bit of the basilisk green effect, but the darker areas, I don't know yet that they're doing anything. Gotta get a few layers on for it to kick in. Then you say, oh yeah, there it is. So, no, I haven't painted in a long time. Most people don't. I don't get a lot of streamers or a lot of people coming by to watch painting streams anyway, but it's mostly just an opportunity if people stop by, want to say hi, and talk about whatever. My workout streams, my TV watching preferences, your TV watching preferences. The X case, which I will keep talking about, that is definitely my my goal behind all this, is at some point to get enough following of people who are interested in cool storage for their minis, for gaming miniatures, or even just their collectible miniatures, whether they be painted or paint ones they painted themselves, or things they bought like on their own. We'll call it Hot Wheels and Hero Clicks, and the X case and the Mage Cage are the way to go, man. I'm telling you, give them a chance, check them out. Check them out on YouTube and Instagram. We want to get that Kickstarter launched so we can get some more made. We've sold out of them multiple times. But now we're trying to do a much bigger Kickstarter because we want to make bigger units. And this time, instead of just being enough to pay off the cost of production. We're actually hoping to make enough to pay off the cost of production twice. With once you get it, you can produce more, and then enough. And since that one will pay for 2 production runs, assuming we sell all the units, which we have continuously in the past, so I don't see any reason why we wouldn't. Then we can make the next production run, and the next production run will pay for the following one after that, which will pay for the following one after that. So you always try to have enough that pays for the next one completely, so you have no debt. Now, each one of those has to make enough to also pay for the marketing. So you pay for the marketing and the next production run. That means you get to keep selling it, keep telling people about it, they keep buying it, and you just kind of keep the party going. That's the way you're supposed to do it, and that's not the way I did it the first time. I was just always like, the first couple of times when we created the Mage Cage, which I made way tons of them, and I sold all of them and had enough to buy more. But I was trying new things, and that time I said, well, you know what? I don't need to make as many because I had a lot. So I made enough. I only made enough that so I had enough money to make more than enough, but instead I just marketed more, which was a bad plan. You know, it's live and learn, you know. Yeah. So I had to do another. So when we did the next one, it was a Kickstarter that launched the X-Case, the clear ones. And those are extremely popular. Sold them out fast, and I'm like, dope. Should have made enough. And I didn't. So now here I am like, oh, didn't make enough to make more after they sold. So instead of having some in stock and available to sell, we basically ran out of things to sell. And voila, here we are. So, does those pants look green to you? They just look dark black or darker green, maybe greenish black at best, but they do not look like they do not look green. My black primer is still just black primer. Just that the light areas are now kind of covered with the green. I can see the green in the light areas, but I don't know. Do not see a lot else going on here. I was hoping for like a light green color. Maybe I need to mix in some. I was thinking like a light, almost, I don't know, turquoisey green. I was going to highlight with blue because I wanted to give it a cold look, you know, a cold green look. That's my objective, but as you can see, that is not where I'm going. This is not cold green. This is barely even green. I guess it does have, the more I look at it, it does have kind of a dark green effect, but not greatly so. We need to lighten those up. So the only way I'm going to be able to do that. Here, I need to get some more water on my palette here before it dries up too much. Alright, well, guess that's about as. You can see the water continuing to flood around it. That means it's soaked into the sponge as much as we can. It might soak a little bit more if I let it sit. It's alright, I'll let it sit. Probably shouldn't. Too much water is a bad thing, but it's going to have to work because I don't want to, I'm not going to pour it out. Alright, back to my task. we're going to definitely need some... I mean, there's definitely green on the brush when I do this. There's green in the white areas when I do this. So I do know that there is green going down on this thing. It's just so translucent. It's kind of interesting, these ice dancers, you know, they got quite the look to them. They're like monsters. They're algox. It's weird to see an algox dancing. They're kind of brute force looking creatures. Now this one I think is actually a wizard of some kind, a magic user. The speakers, however, the ice speaker algox are more of a brute force kind of just beat you up kind of person, and they are pretty tough, because that's what's beating up on Adrian and Royce right now. As a matter of fact, from my last adventure. Now I still have some D&D guys I need to paint, because we've been doing that, and I haven't painted anybody new lately. I've actually had a couple of guys that have had to be played with no paint on them. Ugh. It's one thing to not be finished, but not to have any paint. Oh, that's terrible. That's the worst. But it's my fault. Just didn't make time for it. Didn't make time. Don't know if I had time to make, but still. All right, let's get some highlights on there. Let's see if we can get some color to pop out on there. So we're gonna have to get some lighter green, some actual higher pigment color green. That's not working. So let's go see what I got here. Something of a more... I don't have a lot of... I don't know. The green I'm looking for is kind of more of a cold green, like a turquoise or a teal, or I don't know, maybe something like emerald. There you go, emerald. Something a little colder. What time is it anyway? 4 o'clock. My Saturday's just cruising by, man. That's what happens when you play video games. Video games will suck your day right out of your day, man. Time flies. I can see how people can sit. Look, when I play Diablo, when I finally get it, because I've already paid for it, I'm waiting for it to come out. When I play that, I'm thinking of taking a day off. I've never done it. Never taken a day off to play video games, ever. But I'm thinking I might schedule a day. Maybe 2. Just to play Diablo. It's gonna be weird, man. Full-grown adult like me. No, 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 no. Ooh, that was close. I didn't want it to... It looked like it was trying to get to my... wanted to run off. And I didn't want it to run to my... I didn't want it to get on my mat. I didn't realize I had a slope. Whew, that was close. I'm going to cheat. Change the angle of this just slightly. I should keep it from running towards the thing until I get it off the... No, it didn't work. It didn't work. It's still trying to get on my mat. Dang it, stop it. Alright. It's totally cheat. I need to get that paint off there. I don't know why I ran straight for the edge like that. That's dumb. See, this is a lot more pigment. lighten the pants up way more. This is more like I wanted, but I'm putting it on pretty thin so that it doesn't totally defeat my zenithal prime. Let's see, movies I've watched recently. Let's see, what am I going to talk about here? Let's see, I went to go see, let's see, I've seen Creed recently. That wasn't too bad. I went to go see, I went to go see a movie with my, I went to go see Creed with my brother. He took me for my birthday. And I went to go see, what was it? No, John Wick with my dad. That was pretty good. Don't know if anybody else out there has seen John Wick. Like, who doesn't like a good John Wick movie, huh? Everybody who likes action is pretty much a John Wick fan for the most part. He definitely racks up the body count, though, I'll tell you, man. Wasn't really the ending I was expecting, to be honest. I don't know why. I mean, it's a good ending, but it was kind of not what I expected. Don't want to spoil it. I know there's people who haven't seen it. If you're a John Wick fan, you probably should have seen it by now. Shame on you. If you're not a John Wick fan, you probably don't care, but it's probably still those John Wick fans that have not seen it, and I'm no point calling it out just yet. I was, I don't know, kind of wish it hadn't ended like it did, because, I don't know, but it did. So it is. Other movies I'd like to see. There's a lot of movies. I like to see pretty much any movie. Almost any movie I'm a fan of giving a chance. There are, I'll go see chick flicks. Yes, I don't mind chick flicks. My wife likes them. I don't usually go see them by myself. I don't go to movies by myself in general, but I mean, they're like, if I have the choice and I'm picking the movie and I've got friends who want to go see it, I usually go for the guy movies, action flicks, fantasy, sci-fi, that kind of fun stuff. Probably some shooting, a little bit of gore here and there. Even an occasional horror flick. I don't know anybody who likes horror movies. So I don't get to go to horror movies very often because I won't go by myself. And I don't know, going to horror movies. My daughter's big into horror movies, but she goes and sees those with her friends. So watches them on TV. I have to watch them on TV. I mean, she doesn't. She wants to see a movie. She goes to the theater and watches it. She and her friends will get together and go. So at least I find out which ones are good. She'll tell me, and then I watch them by myself at home when they come out. I gotta see. I watched Megan when I heard that it was pretty good, but I just don't have any fellow horror movie enthusiasts that I go see movies with. Plus, I mean, there are movies you just don't go see with your parents, right? I mean, not as a young adult like my daughter. She doesn't feel comfortable. And I don't blame her. These horror movies they have scenes that probably don't leave, a young adult all that comfortable being watching with their parents. So I can see that. And I understand. Alright, now she's got kind of greenish pants, which is what I was aiming for. Now I just got to start getting some of the blue, colder highlights on there that I wanted on there too. I need, like I said, I got to start working on some. The reason I haven't done any D&D guys lately, because I haven't decided which ones I want to do, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do that guy, as I'm pulling him out to play with him. we're getting ready to play. I'm like, this guy needs to be played with. Oh, he's not painted. Bummer. Should have painted him. Should have looked. And I haven't. I have to look at the next part of the campaign and go, oh yeah. All right, so now I gotta start getting a little pickier with where I'm putting this. As I try to call out some of the higher points. Now, as you may have noticed, I've been playing Midnight Suns, and I like it. It's definitely a laid-back game that can take a lot of time and do a lot of nothing. It is. I think I just finished a tutorial though, which means hopefully means a lot of the storytelling parts are going to be fewer and farther between and a little bit more controlled. In other words, I don't have to do some of the story parts right away, or I can, it's like right now I can go to the war table now, and there's actually multiple missions to do. Some that are story driven, some that are not, just things to try to get more goodies. Haven't lost, I did lose one battle because I mistimed my, it was one of those timer ones, get it done before he gets away. I spent too much time fighting the bad guys. Second time, I redid it, and of course I beat it the second time. It was just, you gotta focus more on the thing. And if they're normal or easy, they're usually not too hard to do. It's just you gotta pay attention. I haven't done a hard one yet. Of course, I don't know if there's a hard one on my docket. The hard ones, I'm sure it'll come later. I'm playing on the normal level. It's the highest you can go at the start of your first game. The normal level, I think it says you can earn, so basically you can change the difficulty at any time, and if you take on battles like at a hard level or harder, you better prizes, better stuff, get stronger, get better. But you can't go to those other levels until you've done certain things. Apparently you gotta earn the right to play at those harder levels, I guess. But let's see what else. Oh, I did try to play Witcher. Okay, I like Witcher, but here's the problem. I don't know that I'm going to play it too much more. Witcher 2, by the way, not the Witcher original or the latest one, which is what, Witcher 3. And here's a problem. It's one of those games that it's, what do you call it, fast twitch. You got to really you got to teach yourself all the moves. You got to learn to get you used to it. And I can do that. I've done it many times. You get used to playing those. But if those are the kind of games you have to play pretty consistently, and you have to play them kind of to the end, right? If you disappear, like I do, I tend to like not play a game for a while. Things will come up, life gets busy, or I just have other things I want to do, and I don't get back to it for several months, and then I'm like learning it again because you lose that what do you call it, fast twitch. You lose the the momentum. You lose the mojo if you don't do it regularly, and as a result, it can be very frustrating to have to keep learning the game over and over again. So I don't know. I like it. I like the view. I like the game. I just don't think I'm going to get to play it that often. I don't think I'm going to play it enough to truly be able to just flow through it. Learn my battles and go take on guys and get all the tricks down. Just like I used to have. I also have another game that's kind of like that. I think where you're playing like Death or something like that, or God of Death or God of War. It's not called God of War. It's all dang it, what's the name of it? But I can't remember the name of it. But it's basically the same thing. You're playing. You learn all these cool abilities, and you get kind of good at using them. But it's only if you keep playing. Right now, if I go and play it again now, I wouldn't have any idea what I was doing. Because some of these, I don't remember them. Then I have to learn everything again. It's not quite like learning to ride a bike. Yes, you can pick it up. If you've learned it all, you can go back to the game eventually. And you might pick it up faster than the first time when you did it, but you're still going to have some challenges. Because you're just that's the way it goes, man. Alright, so now her pants are really starting to take shape. Finally starting to look kind of what I was aiming for. Getting that green. The green feel. Just smooth out this paint though, because it's kind of streaky sometimes. Alright, I think he's starting to look pretty much like I want, and then maybe I can do a little bit more blending here in a minute, but yeah, it was fun watching movie TV with my wife last night. We found fleas! One was crawling on my hand, like, what the heck? I was like, oh, that looks like a flea. It's like, darn dogs. now we're trying to get them some flea medicine so we don't have to deal with that all the time. All right, well, kind of got the pants going, I think. Now we just got to figure out what we're going to do with the... Is she supposed to be a female? And I got to decide what Algox. Now, the Algox, from what I can tell... They're kind of yellow. Now, are they yellow because there's light coming from the bottom? Because this is what an Algox looks like in the daytime. So is this a yellow version of an Algox, or is it just because there's firelight coming up? And then this guy is like a priest. I think that's more his color. I think he's supposed to be more white. Yeah. All right, back to task. Look at that, stuff really dries up. A little wet when I drop it back down, but I just didn't want that stuff running onto my mat because it makes the mat get gross. Look, it froze in an up position, which is probably good. I actually like that up position. It keeps the paint on the mat. So, look, he's even got dancing feet. Look at, he's like standing on his toes. I mean, it is supposed to be I think she is actually a female character. Let's give her fur some color. I'm gonna go with a gray, and then I can go over it with white, like a kind of a snow wolf kind of thing. Why not? Classic colors for a beast. How about light gray? Sure, I convinced me. I'm so sore. Those workouts I've been doing, the AR7s, yesterday, I did a 2-a-day. Now I'm going to try to be doing 2-a-days for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to try. I don't know if I'm going to get 2-a-day. I should do 2 tomorrow, but I don't know if my time is going to allow me to do 2. Plus, I'm really sore. But there's only 4 or 5 workouts. I'm going to mix them up, though, because I don't think it really matters which 4 or 5 you do, but I'm going to do the same kind of thing. So the official 5, the ones that are posted as, the Jason Momoa Aquaman workout, are the ones I'm doing first. And I've done 4 of them. The other one I haven't done is arms and shoulders. So far, when I did legs, my legs got sore. And the thing is, the legs one, I didn't actually do the best weights. I mean, I did kind of too light. But I think I found, by the end, I had kind of found my weight levels. So I'll pick those same weight levels to start next time. And you want to find a weight that you stay at for the whole workout. And then next time maybe you can add 5 pounds. Or whatever you can add based on what weights are available. And so anyway, I've got 2 weeks to see what I can accomplish in 2 weeks. So I'm thinking 2-a-days might be the best way to go. I need to start seeing if I can crank it out. Now, I am capable of 2-a-days, but what I am not is time. I don't know if I have time. I'm terrible because it has to be done at certain times, and I've been making... Like last time I did my second one yesterday at like 3 o'clock, which was way late. I wanted to do it like at noon. It's the best time for me to do it is at noon, when most people at work are out for their meetings and stuff. Now tomorrow, if I'm gonna do a 2-a-day, see, you have to break it up. You got to give yourself rest. So if I get up early and do one, these are about 40 minutes to an hour long workouts. I probably got to plan for an hour. And I usually work out at home on Sundays, which makes for doing I don't think this is shaken up enough. need to get my I need to get my massage gun down here. It's so much easier to do with the massage gun than doing it with me shaking, fritzing my arm out. It's like my arm's like, pain, agony. Don't you know what we did? Yes, I know what you did, and I'm sorry. Okay. And then trying to figure out, part of the problem is trying to figure out where, what is with these guys wearing weird animals? He's got like an animal thing around his shoulder, just like Adrian does. Adrian wears a weird animal thing around her shoulders too. Looks like some kind of a fox or I don't know, weasel. I don't know. It's not, probably not a weasel, but I don't know what it is, so. I kind of went way, had some thick paint. Very heavy pigment. Some kind of a band or arm protector on the front hand, I think. Is a bracer, maybe? Just around a forearm, it looks like. Painting with water right now just to try to thin out the paint. It's so thick. Try to help get this color to spread out and maybe be a little less, I don't know, gray. I was hoping to let some of this black shine through a little bit more. Plus, if you get too much paint or too much, you let your brush get dry, it starts to fray out. Just bristles start jumping all over the place. I want to keep your bristles nice and snug, then you got to make sure you keep it wet. You know, I jump all over the place when I'm talking, don't I? So, one thing I've noticed is, you see these guys who paint online, Squidmar and what was it, Miniac. They're very good painters, by the way. But, like, I've never seen Squidmar actually do a live painting. I'm sure he has. Not to say, I just haven't seen one. Now, they usually do their live painting, like, on Twitch. Miniac does his live painting on Twitch. I don't know, like I said, if where Squidmar does it. Maybe he does them on YouTube. But those are the only two guys I mean, there's a bunch of people who do mini painting, and a lot of really good painters, mind you. But I'm just always impressed by the way these guys, they can just make anything. They're just painting along, and next thing you know, they got this amazing looking thing done. And I'm like, holy moly. And no matter what you do, you just watch them drop this stuff down, and they're just done. It's like, whoa, dude, that's what you can do? That's a thing? I thought that was just mystery and magical mystery tours. You see people doing these amazing paint jobs, and it's like, I mean, mine come out all right. I mean, I'm not going to say they're bad. It just, they don't look like that. I mean, I spent a lot of time to make mine table ready, which basically means not as good as not professional. That's what table ready means. not tournament ready. So I'm pretty much never, or contest ready, or whatever you call it. I'm not a contest. I would love to do some more contests. I like to enter them, but I first of all, finding them, and then they always have these restrictions. You got to paint this in a month. It's like, what? So I have to okay. So I've only entered one contest ever, and of course I didn't win. I mean, didn't expect to win. It was just more of a for fun deal. They didn't even mention me. I didn't even get. I like to enter contests where they at least rate it. Maybe not a rating, a scale 1 to 10, but like, this is a decent paint job. It has this, that, and the other thing, but needs this, that, and the other thing. Like some kind of feedback information. But they don't do that. I think Reaper does that. Their Reaper contests, the ones that they have for what do you call it, at the ReaperCon. One of my favorite conventions because, well, the people there are awesome. The organizers are awesome. They've always treated me pretty good when I go down there. And I go sell the X case, which I've always sold a ton of there, so people seem to like. Well, to be honest, I sell quite a few when I go anywhere, but it's not a very expensive, and it's a very small con, so my sales per person, per attendee, are very high at ReaperCon compared to other conventions. But that's because there's a lot more competition probably at other conventions, and I actually get a spot on the main floor and everything because there's only one floor, only one area for us to be, and in the past I've been one of very few storage people that go there. And who knows, next time I go I might have some competition, and then I won't sell as many, maybe. Or maybe I'll just whoop the butt of the other guys. I want to go to Adepticon, and I want Adepticon to put me right next to some of those other guys who sell storage, and I want to see how I fare. If I lose, I lose, but I want to at least have a chance. Because they always get like prime positioning in the con, and they stick me back in the hole in the back, and then people come to me and go, oh, I wish I had seen this before I bought this other product. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's what happens when you shop, when they put the other products in the main hall and stick me in the back. You're not going to get that option. Yep. All right, so at least her furry self is starting to look a little better. Mm-hmm. We're getting there. I don't know. I got to figure out how I would market myself at Adepticon against those that get the better arrangements. Because I asked them before to put me next to the others, and they were like, "I can't. This boat's already taken." It's like, whatever. Even though I had applied to be there months ago, I'm just not important enough. You get like points, you prime. It's like showing up many years in a row, which I would do if I didn't sell out of my product before I could go back. I can't very well, earn points to go every time if I'm just out product. That's why I'm hoping to do it right this next time. Keep myself going. And then I just budget to go to certain cons like ReaperCon, Adepticon, and maybe a couple of local cons. That's my budget. And then that's it. That's all I'm going to go to. All right, so what's next? Kind of got a little bit of fur on there. I do need a highlighter first still. I've got to put a lot of white. Maybe some dry brushing on it when it dries up. Let's get some... So I want her fur to be a little bit more of the white side. I'm using that gray as the undercoat, but then I'll brush it up with some white. I don't know, what the heck is that thing hanging on her arm? It's like a horn or something. What the heck is that? Like a horn? Oh, it's the snake thing that's sitting around her neck. Oh, she's got like a snake on her. That's what that is. Weird. That's a snake tail. Okay. I don't know. What kind of snake lives in ice cold forest zones? This whole little thing that goes all the way around her neck is a snake. Interesting. I don't know. Let's see. What would be good colors for this snake? Let's see. What do I want for dinner? It's like, I will say this: 2-a-days. I did work out two times yesterday, and one of them was pretty high cardio because I had to do these sprints and stuff. See, that's the problem with cardio. Cardio really burns calories, but it also leaves you hungry. And even though this is a whole day off, my body's like, after doing 2 workouts that were pretty high intensity, I'm finding that I'm just really hungry today. Which is good. I mean, if you're hungry, it means your body's like, well, you're not feeding me. I should be burning more fat, right? It's not that hard to go a day without eating. I had to do it a couple weeks ago. I had to do one of the stupid colonoscopies. But as you get older, they recommend it. So yeah, at a ripe old age of 27, I had to do it. I know I look exactly 27, right? No, but I thought, oh, how am I going to get through a day without eating? But strangely enough, it really wasn't that hard. You just have to keep trying to focus on, put your brain on other things. Intermittent fasting. It's definitely tricky. It's a mindset. You get hungry and it's like, well, there's nothing really stopping me from eating. There's nothing truly there that's going to stop me from doing it. One of the things I'm trying to figure out is what's a good white. I've been really struggling finding a good white. I don't like Vallejo's white. I like Vallejo's paints, but their white is so thick. It's just so hard to get it. So I don't know. I just can't. I can't do Vallejo's white. It's just terrible. All right, so I've got these new brushes. These are expensive brushes. My wife got them for me. The Artist Opus series brushes. And I'm looking forward to trying them. So I'm going to use it for my dry brushing because that's what they're for. And I'm going to try. See, when you can't hear the paint moving in the bottle, it's a thick paint. Yes, even though I shake it hard enough, I can hear it then, but it's a thick paint. Let's take this one over here. Now, I'm told. So here's a problem with doing a dry brushing. Supposed to get the brush thoroughly brushed, or paint in the bristles pretty good. You don't want to go too deep into the bristles, but just want to make sure you get all the bristles. And then you gotta take it somewhere dry, try to brush it all out. Now here's the problem: when it's white, if the things you're brushing it off on is white, like a paper towel, you're gonna have a hard time telling. Oh, here we go. Let's see what happens. I might be using too big of a brush here. It's kind of coming off like it's like a dust. What the heck? Could be that I probably should have rinsed my dry brush first, because I never used them before. I just pulled it out of there and just started painting with it. It's not the recommended way to do it, I don't think. Yep, gotta do some more. Actually, I have a better paper than paper towel, but where is it? It's like I actually have a kind of a brown paper. It's designed for that stuff. It's better because it's not like paper towel, which will flake off, which is probably what's happening when I do this. It's leaving paper on my. Where's my brown paper? Don't have it on here. It's actually working pretty good. It's definitely getting those highlights good, and it leaves it pretty smooth looking for the most part. A lot of times dry brushing will leave like a brushy effect, like a weird like brush streaky stuff. So you got to be careful with it. And wiping them all off is kind of tricky too. How much do you wipe off? You want it to be almost nothing, but you don't want it to be totally nothing because then it won't come off. There won't be anything left. She looks a little bit more whitish now, with the white highlights on it. Gets that gray going. Not that I'm done with the dry brushing, but I kind of used up the paint I had, so I know I keep falling off the screen. I apologize for that if I'm doing that. I do tend to drift off the screen every now and then. Now, I gotta get this wet, but I'm not getting it wet for the sake of my dry brush. I'm getting it wet for the sake of washing it. So I have these. Oh, that's the sponge I'm supposed to wash it off. That scrapes it off. Oh, that's what that's for. I forgot about that. It's not the. I think this one might be. I think there's one of these as the soap of some kind. Yeah. You just take care of your brush this way. Jeez, it almost puts a point on it. Don't want to brush point on my dry brushes. Now, I've never used these before, so this is all new to me. I don't like using this. Alright, use the handle of your brush, work the handle, the patch should be used. The following brush care combined with the artist open center, let's see, maintain the brushes, combat any deterioration while reforming vitalizer and smooth hair so that they continue to give hours of painting perfection. To clean, check and inspect for paint chemicals in the brushes using your dampening pad. Moisten your bristles, no more than 2 to 3 drops of water for cleaning. Swirl brush in the artist open cleaner. Brush conditioner and cleanser and build up a lather. Dry brush. Your brush on a texture palette to work out any. Dry brush your brush on a texture palette to work out any paint. To work out paint. To work out. They spelled it pant. P-A-N-T. Repeat if necessary until brush is clean. Lather will be white. Leave soap on the bristles overnight with bristles pointed to condition and moisturize and maintain and build a perfect light bulb brush form. Flick the bristles clean to work out dried soap. Interesting. Okay, huh? They just said leave the stuff in there. So I'll do that. And then we flick the brushes clean. But for now, that's going to do. All right, so I got a little bit of dry brushing in there. Let's see. She's gotten a little bit more color, a little bit more form fitting going. Now we got to get some, oops. She's got like some sort of swirly, icicle-y thing going on the bottom here. So what's that going to be? I've got visions of swirly ice crystals dancing in my head. Let's do some more white. And I'm actually going to do a lot of white. So I'm going to do this with I'm just going to paint the base white because I got plans for to get a base coat of white. So what I'm thinking is I want to make these, try to make these things that look like they're swirling around. I'm going to try to turn them, put some blue on them, jut out to like sharper like blue icicle tips. Maybe. Can't make them clear, so they won't be ice, but they will have blueness. That's my goal, some kind of blueness. So my son's been playing this new game. I don't know what he called it. It's some new one, I guess. He says it's the greatest game ever. I was like, really? Greatest game ever, huh? I don't know what it is, but I was curious. Should probably check it out. But the thing is, I don't know. He's always buying new games, and it's like I don't know how he does it because I know I can't do it. It's like I know I make more money than he does, but he spends it like he's got all this. He owes money to everybody under the sun. Yeah, if you're watching, Caden, you know who I'm talking about. No, he doesn't watch. He occasionally will watch if I'm doing like video games or something, but I'm not doing video games right now. There's no reason for him to. This is not interesting to him, as would be the case with most people. Watching other people paint. I put other people painting on all the time, but I don't watch them constantly either, so I understand it. I just like to see what they're doing. And I rarely get into conversations with them, so again, I don't expect most people to. I'm always impressed by people who do get on and just kind of converse with the streamers. I think it's cool, but I guess you gotta have something in common with them, right? I know a couple. I have a couple of people who'll stop by. That'll say hi and talk for a while before they have to head out, or they're usually doing something else, playing video games of their own. But ultimately, it's just most people just kind of turn on streams in the background and they just listen to them talk, listen to people talk while they do their own thing. Which is reasonable, I guess. Alright, so let's see here. I actually want this white to be pretty thin looking. I want it to be white, but also not overwhelmingly so. I do think I like this Army Painter white better. Just because it feels like it goes on a little smoother, a little less, I don't know, grainy, chunky. It looks like it can get thin easier. I really have a hard time thinning the Vallejo one. The Vallejo paint really just doesn't thin out well. It's just constantly feeling. I don't know. It's just me. It might just be me, but I don't know. All right, got the base kind of done, or at least base coated white because I actually want it to be white base coat. And then I'm going to start putting some swirliness into it. So that's going to be a little trickier here, but that's going to require me to get some blues. Let's go with a blue ink. Blue ink should allow me to go pretty translucent right out the gate, and then I just layer it up. That's my hope anyway. Now this is a transparent blue, which is kind of what I want. We'll see how transparent, hopefully transparent enough. This is my flop it on paint brush. It's not meant to be, it's not a highly detailed brush, but it's like if I just want to throw a lot of paint on quickly and I'm not worried about location detail as much, it's just going to cover the whole spot that I'm covering. It's interesting though, a lot of these say let it dry with the soap on it. I haven't been doing that too much, but I'm going to do that now. Supposedly, you know, lets it dry in the correct form, and then it's easily rinsed off, and then it's just in that correct form. That's the premise, I guess. Alright, so back to my other brush. Back to my good brush. I think I'm gonna send a quick text. I feel like, did we eat out this week? I don't know. I'm trying to think what I want. Oh well, let's see what she says. She hasn't even answered the question yet. So. It's already 5 o'clock, so you know I might be pushing the limits on our time. Okay, so here we go. Let's see how this goes. So this ink is supposed to be pretty See how this pretty translucent, so let's see what happens. I don't know. It is translucent on white is tricky, you know, because white very. Oh, okay, guess not. So here's a trick. You get a really thin. This is going to be tricky because it's very. See, this is kind of the more the blue I was looking for here. That one's pretty thin. You know, you're supposed to start at the top when you're doing this kind of thing, where you're trying to go darker at the top and then you kind of work your way down. So hopefully, in theory, the thicker part of the paint, the darker, more pigmenty part, thins out as you go to the bottom, and you get that more faded, lighter color that you're aiming for at the bottom. That's the goal, and that's pretty much how it works, pretty much how it seems to be working too. But at the same time, if you've got less high points, so every time you pick the paint, you can't always start at the high point because you run out of those high points. Then you want to go just fade it at the bottom parts. And then you got to figure out how to just be thin. That's where it gets tricky. So I'm trying to get it just enough where it looks like the darker swirly parts are coming up. I may have to actually put white in on my blue just so that it's truly just lighter. It's the only way I can really guarantee that my lower parts actually stay not too dark. So I was trying to think about eating out, only because I was trying to think, what can I eat that's high protein? I figure it's easier to buy something. I know it's lazy. I gotta try to figure out something to eat at home. Cause I guess she already ate. She said so. Guess I'm gonna have to make do. It's fine. Sometimes you gotta make do, you know? It's probably best. Going on vacation in a couple weeks, probably shouldn't spend too much money anyhow. Can be enjoying the hot weather of Puerto Vallarta. Should be fun. Alright, so he's kind of coming together pretty good. We're getting there, almost. Dang it, my brush is splailing out. Stop it. Splailing out again. I'm using that weird word, splail. It's equivalent of fray. See how I was doing that? It's because it's getting dry inside, not just on the outside. That's what that's caused by. There's no water on the inside sucking it together. So you wet the outside, it doesn't have any reason to stay together. The water will draw it together on the inside. So you have to make sure you give it enough water in the brush, not just on the brush. I think it's coming pretty good. Gotta be careful though. I've kind of let a little bit too much blue seep into the lower areas, like the crevices, which I don't want. This is ice, not shadow. Not trying to get shadow effect out of this. I want my white to be, it's drawn up from the snow. It freezes up even more so, like in icicles, like she's forming icicles out of her dance. You know, ice dancer. Don't think that's a song, but I'm making it one. I think that'll work for now. Maybe I can do a little shade of shadowing on the snow later, but for now, I think that's pretty good. Let's give it some border. You know, sometimes you got to clean it up, and that will be putting the border on the bottom. So black gray, nope. Let's go with just black. I like trimming it with black. Usually, sometimes I trim it with with other colors, but I trim with black for most like D&D or just general things. Now these characters belong to a game, so normally I would paint them a different color, like maybe all silver or all black or all blue or all something like that. But I've been trimming them black. You can trim them black and go over it later. But I like to have all the ones that belong to a game all have the same trim on it. Because, well, that's how you tell them that they all go to the same game. Let's go ahead and use this brush. Oops. Didn't actually. Now, this is a synthetic brush. Synthetic brushes, I don't know that they benefit from the leaving the soap in them quite so much as maybe my other brushes do. But the thing is, it probably couldn't hurt to at least help them hold their form, if nothing else. And this is just cleaning it up, you know. You get that spray primer and you got the white from the top, and all I'm doing here is just trying to make it look cleaner. I haven't even got this character, I haven't even made this character yet, and I don't know if I will, but because I can only do 4. There's only enough character decks are 4, so somebody's gonna have to retire before I can bring any new characters in. And I don't know who's gonna retire first, Adrian or Royce. They are both more than halfway once they hit. Well, okay, they are not more than halfway. They're close to level 5. Then they will be more than halfway. They're like 4 to 5 experience points away from level 5, both of them. Actually, I think one is 6, but still, it's really close. There we go. Just looks a little cleaner, just being all black around the side, nice and neat. Cleans up all the slop that went over the edge. Starts making her have a little bit more of a finished appearance. So she's not there yet. Obviously, I haven't done any of her upper body gear. I haven't done her horns or her eyes or anything like that, but or her feet. So there's a lot of stuff to be done. But she is now less just primer. So the important thing is I got something done, right? But I should do something with that snake, huh? I'm trying to figure out what color to do the snake around her shoulders. I think this is dying. I feel like it doesn't have as much brightness as it usually does. It's more than nothing, but not much. And to be honest, if it's a snake, it's a really weird snake. It's got a super long tail, but it's got the head of some kind of like, I don't know, like a fox. So if it's just like this really long-bodied snake-type creature that's got like the head of a fox. Yeah, it's just really weird. I don't know what that is. So I'm staring at it going, what kind of weird monster being is that? I'm, Okay, this thing has no light on it. Those lights are dead. I'm basically just looking at it magnified. It's got no light. I'm going to have to charge this up. So I like to use this when I paint because I like to see the magnification, because I like being able to see it close up and personal. That's it. I'm probably going to need to stop just for that purpose alone. Guess that's it. I think I'm going to call it for now. I don't know. Maybe I'll be back down, do something else later, play some more painting. I do need to do more painting. That wasn't nearly enough. I need to paint more. But the thing is, there's not enough hours. Tomorrow, I'd like to do a 2-day workout, which means finding 2 hours during the day to exercise. We can probably go to church in the morning. I don't think we have any plans tomorrow, so I might find time to do another painting session or a Frosthaven session. Or video games, which I've been wanting to do lately. I've been wanting to play video games. I think I might even want to play my... I haven't got a chance to play my Grim Dawn yet on my new monitor and stuff. See how that runs. So there's a couple of things I'd like to try. But until then, you take it easy.